Recently I was sat in a cafe with a friend of mine who's doing a term abroad next year for university work, and he was telling me that America don't have anywhere near as many railway systems for passengers as we do in the UK. As someone who loves to travel and has said in the past that they'd like to do parts of America, not being able to travel by train, which I think is the best form of transport, is a bit saddening really. The amount of times I've been sat on a train and I've looked out the window and seen something cool, go by something unique, something interesting, is countless now. And it's a really nice thing to be able to sort of go home and research something and look into something to see something that you wouldn't have any idea about if you hadn't randomly passed it on the train. I mean, obviously the route's not going to change each time, so you're going to keep going past that one thing. But on each journey you always find something new, I find at least, and that's really interesting, I think. Last week I was on the train back to Lincoln, and as the train pulled into Spalding, I realised that two people I recognised were getting into the carriage. Now at the time I didn't really have anything to talk about, so I just let them do their thing and continued on with whatever I was doing. Fast forward an hour, and this happened.
We're in Lincoln again. And we've met the lovely Bob. Hi Bob.
Hello.
As a young person, do you have a young person's rail card?
Yeah, I do indeed. It's been very useful in saving a lot of money on my tight budget.
And you're a very tall chap. How does the legroom work out for you on trains?
Sometimes I get lucky, most times I don't. So it's just find what you can and hope for the best.
I think Jeff would concur with that, wouldn't you, Jeff? Thanks very much, Bob.
Now that interview was called Very Good by the interviewer, so go me. Whenever you go for a walk around Lincolnshire, it's very clear to see that this county has a very large amount of disused railway stations. My favourite is Washingborough, mainly because it's the closest one to my house. Well, it's still a 3.5 mile walk, but it's still the closest one to my house. So I forgot to take my hay fever tablet this morning and decided that it would be a good idea to come out into the countryside. It wasn't. A lot of the old railway lines have been turned into cycle paths or nature trails, so you can walk in the spaces where the trains used to be. It's somewhat weird thinking the trains used to run along here, as in big whopping steam trains used to arrive at the platform down that end and then used to continue on down that way towards Boston. And it's weird thinking how much sort of history has been lost over the years, or how many opportunities have been lost over the years. Because now I've got to walk home and I can't get the train. A friend and I were in Skellingthorpe recently, which is a town just southwest of here, and we couldn't figure out why one cycle path went on for miles and miles and miles across the county border. Train line. Now, if you're a long-time subscriber of BobCorp and if you've been here a while, you'll know that I'm never one for haul or tag videos, so this is going to come as a bit of a surprise, but because everything else that I own is in a box right now, as you can see there down the hallway, it's given me a good opportunity to show you some of the goodies and wonderful things that I've managed to pick up over my first year at university. And oh, there's some treasures, there really is. Now first of all, being in Lincoln at this time is probably going to be assumed to be a very sort of lonesome thing because there's no one else here, but it's actually working out a bit in my advantage, as because a lot of my friends are moving out and can't afford to take everything else with them, I'm getting all the things, including too much mushy peas that I'll probably save for someone's Christmas present. I'm not sure I've talked about this before, but in first year as well we had to do a still life photography project, so we had to go out and find weird things. I just went round charity shops and found this, although I also found this big bolt which I stole from a stole, I borrowed from an industrial estate in South Lincoln. The best thing that came of this is it sparked the tradition of don't be surprised if you end up getting a vase for your birthday, because there's a £1 antique shop in Lincoln and it comes in very handy for getting your mates terrible gifts they don't want. This is also mine. It was a gift for my birthday. Thanks for that, Meg. Got some Imodium instants for video blogging, because you gotta stay hygienic now. Got a load of glasses. They're not all stolen. I know the landlady in one of the local pubs. So thanks for all the glasses, Michelle. You've cluttered my cupboards. Which also brings me on to my favourite item of everything. This Pimm's teapot, which I got from the same pub. And the most bizarre thing is that I don't drink Pimm's. I don't drink Gordon's or Smirnoff or Captain Morgan's. So I've got absolutely no use for this whatsoever. But I'll probably end up filling it with sweets and then get really morbidly obese for the next video. So cheers to the landlady for that. Great.
Should have filmed that one.
Oh yeah, it's been recording, so it's just you going.
Oh, great.
See you on BobCorp.